Welcome everyone to today's webinar on the ITNCountry platform, which helps nonprofit and municipal transportation services build sustainable practices. My name is John Bartz. I'm the marketing manager here at ITN America, and I'm out of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
And I'm Ian Rebels. I'm the community outreach manager, and I'm based out of Seattle, Washington.
Welcome, Ian. We're with ITN America, where we support dignified transportation for older adults and people with mobility challenges. Earlier this year, we presented another webinar, How to Build a Nonprofit Transportation Service. And if you'd like to view that, we'll put that link into the chat. Ian, if you can put that into the chat, that would be great. And then if you have any questions throughout today's webinar, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get to them later today, later in the presentation. First, a little bit about ITN America. We're celebrating our 30th year here at ITN America. We continue our goal to build a national network of nonprofit and municipal transportation services across the United States. Our network of providers offers dignified transportation in local communities that help shape a healthier and more inclusive community. And this is ITN America's 4 pillars, our 4 focus areas. So first up being that ITN Ride software. This is our ride coordination software. That's a big part of our ITNCountry platform, and it's built on the Salesforce platform, which is very robust and secure. We also have a great community in the cloud online learning resource, both for current providers as well as new folks thinking about starting a nonprofit transportation service. And we'll provide links to that as well too. It is undergoing a huge upgrade right now to the Salesforce platform, but the information is still available to you. Next up is the Rides Insight website. This is a free searchable database online, and you can go to the website. Ian, if you can put the link for Rides Insight in the chat function, that would be great. It's a free searchable online website where anybody can go to find local transportation options in their community. There's over 10,000 providers in there, and hopefully you're in there as well if you're providing service. And if you can go out to that link and search as well for your organization and check the database as well too, make sure we've got all of your correct information. Or if you don't see yourself in there, there's links on that website to let us know so that we can get you on that database. And then lastly is America's Volunteer Driver Center. We're helping service providers find volunteer drivers. And this is a free service. We know that one of the biggest challenges of nonprofit service providers is lack of volunteers. So we've created a website and a nationwide campaign to help you with that. Now, right now, we're testing and putting the final touches on this website. And then in the first phase here in 2025, we're going to be recruiting service providers such as yourself. So in the next couple of months, you'll be receiving an email from us inviting you to join this website and become a part of America's Volunteer Driver Center. It's free, and once we get all of the providers in place, then we're going to launch our nationwide campaign to recruit drivers, and so that you can receive new volunteers. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the ITNCountry platform. Before we jump into the demo here that Ian's going to show us here, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about this platform. It's so much more than just ride scheduling software. It's a full circle support system to help you build a scalable and sustainable service. So it has the software technology in it, also comes with marketing materials, community engagement tools, volunteer management capabilities, reimbursement programs, which we're going to talk about later. And probably most importantly is the support. And that's the support of 30 years of experience. We have some staff members here that have actually started and have run programs across the country. And they're a wonderful asset to have. And they're like your personal consultants. They know exactly what works and what doesn't. And that's all part of the ITNCountry platform. Now, we've also built this system to help us gather data, and we do this anonymously. We do this to help with research, education, and policy analysis. And this helps legislators and government officials understand this growing need better. Okay, so let's go ahead and hand it over to Ian here. We're going to get started and we're going to look at the staff portal first. Ian,
Yeah, give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen.
thumbs up.
All right. So yeah, we're just gonna take a quick glance at the just the state staff portal. This is what your ride coordinator yourself will be looking at. There's three different portals. One is the staff portal. You also have the driver and rider portal. But this one is the ride coordinators portal, and this is the home screen page. And I just want to go over a couple things here on this screen. So first, to start off, all of this text here, even this graphic here, is customizable. So you can put your organization's logo up here. You can type whatever you want here. It doesn't have to be this. So you can customize all of that. All this is very intentionally designed to be as simple as possible. It's for a couple of reasons. One, to just simply reduce cognitive overload. We don't want it to be too clustered. And two, we actually have this usable by screen readers. We had in the past at one of our sites, one of our country sites was actually using a screener who was blind and was able to navigate through this and be a ride coordinator as well. So a couple other things I want to touch base on are these buttons up here. So right here you can see like new driver, new rider, new contact. That's just how you enter in the new drivers and riders. I'm not going to go through those application pages right now. But the main things I wanted to focus on were the help articles and training videos. So help articles right here, if you click on this, will bring up the ITN Rides manual, and you can look up the categorized version to find individual tasks. You could download the entire manual. But if you're more of a visual learner like me, I like these training videos a lot. This goes to our Community in the Cloud website, and these are all YouTube style videos. I think the longest is maybe 7 minutes or so. So you could find pretty much answer to any question that you may have using our software in these YouTube videos. But let's say, just in case you can't find the information you're looking for, or you just want help with something, maybe building a report even, you can submit a case and they'll bring you to this support request right here. And you can we'll ask you to triage it so we know how severe the issue is. Like if it's a problem and it's preventing you from working and you do that, we're going to have somebody, responding to you as soon as possible. But maybe you just want help building a report or something. It's not urgent. Do that. And we'll still respond to you usually within 24 hours. We have folks every day answering these case requests. And yeah, so that pretty much covers it for this home screen. We'll go into these other tabs later, but for now, I'm going to pass it back to John.
Okay, thanks, Ian. Hopefully you can see my screen there.
Good.
Okay. So here's some of the ITNCountry technology features. I'm not going to go through every single one of them here, but we definitely talked about the fact that it's built on the Salesforce platform. We also have capabilities for ancillary services or age-friendly services. Think of this as riderless rides. So if you provide services to maybe pick up prescriptions at a pharmacy, or if you go out to somebody's house to do light housekeeping, or just to visit with them as a welfare check, or maybe do a little bit of housekeeping or any other type of jobs like that that don't involve a rider, these are what we call ancillary or age-friendly services. And we have the capabilities to do that as well. There is a huge upgrade coming later this year, but we do have the basic capabilities as well there. We also have simplified billing for third parties. So think of the Medicare, Medicaid. If you have third-party payers that are paying for that, our system can incorporate that and make it very easy. And then also, we're going to show the AI chatbot a little bit later as well, too. So that's just a couple of the features that we want to point out here. And we'll make this presentation available to you as well, too. Okay, so we're going to go back to Ian now, and we're going to look at booking a ride and managing a ride.
Yeah, let's hop back in it. Alrighty. So back on the home screen here. So we're gonna go to book a ride first. So there's two ways you can book a ride. The riders can actually go in the riders portal and book a ride or well request a ride themselves. But more often than not, they just call in and your ride coordinator is going to set up the ride for them right here and then. So you get called, they ask for a ride. We're going to use example rider here. You can see a couple bits of information about the rider here, which is, important. You don't want to be pairing them, assigning them to someone who has like a high vehicle. Someone that's a really small car, might not be able to support a big walker or something like that. Just some, basic customer notes. And this is all information that the driver gets as well. And we'll have the purpose here. The purpose is important to do for a number of reasons, specifically eye care appointments, which we'll talk about later. But let's just say this person wants to go to, they want to go to the pharmacy, pick up whatever prescription they need, do some shopping. So let's go to a Walgreens right here. And a cool part about this is that one, it's always going to default the start location to that customer's or the rider's home address. And then with these end locations, once you've used them a lot, you don't necessarily need to type in the whole address. You can just type in this and it'll start to remember places that people have frequently gone to. So let's do that. It also shows a little note right here too that may help the driver navigate, where the best place to park is or where the entrance is to get them closest to the door, things like that. So let's say they want to get picked up, go 10 a.m. And you note it shows the estimated drop-off time. And this is because it's calculating in the background on Google Maps just how long it's going to take at this current time during the day of when it's to get from here to there. And there's a couple other options down here as well. You can add a stop if you need to. You can assign a driver right here and then if you want. You can change the load time. Say they are in a wheelchair and they need a little extra time getting loaded up in the car. You can change that and it'll reflect on the estimated drop-off time, as you can see. And there's a couple other options down here as well. If it's a ride share, or maybe it's a free ride, or maybe you charge a little bit more if it's a same day request or after hours request, things like that. And then there's also staff notes here, and these are notes that the driver will not see on their end. And this is just for the staff to know. So for example, this person needs every ride request to be verified with their sister. So once you have that all set up, they're probably going to want to ride back home, and it'll always default to wherever they just were to their end location. But you can, of course, edit that. Let's say they just want to get picked up 11 a.m. They're at the pharmacy for an hour. And it'll say the estimated time for them to get back. So now let's go to them, and then you'll save ride requests. And then it'll show up in this Manage Rides tab that I'm going to go to next. Sorry about that. All right. So the Manage Rides tab, this is what your ride coordinator is going to be spending probably most of their time doing. And there's a few things I want to note on this page. As you can see, we've got some riders here, some drivers that have been assigned, some that haven't. And when you go over this, you can see some basic information about the rider as well as the driver if you go over that. So you can see just that basic information you kind of saw on the other screen. This is good to know just so, this person can't get into a high vehicle. And this is good information to know about the driver as well. So there's 3 different ways you can pair riders with drivers. So the first way is a manual way. This is probably the most commonly used way. So once you hit this, available drivers will pop up down here eventually. There we go. And it'll show all the available drivers for this day that can work the hours that these people are working. And it's a couple cool features I just wanted to highlight really quick. So for example, this person can't be in a no high vehicle. If you actually try to assign someone who has a high vehicle, it's going to error out and not let it work. It's going to think about it for a sec, but yeah, mobility aids or number of riders exceed vehicle capacity. So it's double checking to make sure you're not having someone show up in a Toyota Corolla to try and pick up somebody with a wheelchair or something like that. So that's option 1 is the manual assigning. Option 2 is this generate routes button. And this is an automated way of pairing it. And this is used by folks that are doing a really high volume of rides, and it'll automatically pair riders with drivers in the most efficient way that it can. I'm not going to hit the button right now because it takes a little bit to cross-reference everything and make sure everyone's paired appropriately. All the cars can fit the needs of the rider. But that's option 2. And then option 3, which I'll show a little bit later because I'll need to go into the driver's portal to show it, but you can actually have the volunteer drivers decide to pick rides that are unavailable on this uncovered rides tab. And then you'll see it right here that says selected. So Fred Fake User has actually picked up this ride, and you can just choose to accept it over here or not. And that's the option 3. So yeah, that pretty much covers it for booking a ride and managing a rides tab. So you can take it back now, John.
Okay, sounds good. Now let's talk a little bit about the community engagement programs. As we mentioned before, it's so much more than just the ride scheduling software. These programs create community awareness of your organization and gives them the opportunity to get involved and to help you create a more sustainable transportation service. Ride and Shop and Healthy Miles. This is a partnership with businesses and medical providers, and they can help subsidize the cost of the rides. We know that isolation is a huge issue with older adults and people with mobility challenges, and this ensures that people get to their doctor's appointments and makes for a healthier outcomes. And it also allows people to stay active and continue to be a part of your community. The car trade, we know there's a lot of vehicles in driveways and in garages as people start to make that decision to transition from the driver's seat to the passenger seat. There's a lot of vehicles out there sitting dormant and collecting dust. Well, the riders can use the car trade program to trade in that vehicle to you for ride credits. They can also donate the car outright and possibly get a tax donation on that as well, too. So the ITNCountry platform allows you to be able to do this seamlessly within the system. And then we also provide you with the marketing collateral to get out into the community and get the word out. We also have what's called the Transportation Social Security account, and that's more for your volunteer drivers. As they're out there day by day, week by week, driving for you, they're accruing ride credits, and they can bank these ride credits for their eventual future need. They can also gift these credits to family members or friends that are in our network, whether they're in the same community or in another community across the country. So they can gift these credits, these ride credits, to other people. And that's a great service there as well, too. And then lastly, very popular, the gift certificate programs popular during the holidays. And here's just a few examples of how we help you with the community engagement and getting the word out there. These are examples of our marketing brochures. We personalize each one for every provider. You can see the car trade on the left, and then we have the car donation brochure. These are PDFs that we can send to you that you can print out or you can email. And then we also created a trifold brochure for one of our affiliate members as well, too. So we have brochures for each of the core programs that I just talked about, and we personalize each one, and it helps you create community awareness of your services. And it makes you more sustainable as well, too. Okay, flipping it back to Ian here, we're going to talk about reporting and donation and healthy miles.
Let's do it. So yeah, so we're back on the home screen, as you can see here. So one quick thing I wanted to note is our new chatbot that we've been developing. You can actually bring up, for example, donations report right here. I have that. This is one way you can get to reports. I just wanted to show this is something we've been working on for the past few weeks, and you can type in things like this. It'll bring up all donations for the past 6 months, or you could, look for your list of fleet vehicles or available active drivers. Let's try that one right now. And this will give you all the active drivers and report as well. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with this chatbot to help you get to where the report you're looking for, something like that quickly. So let's actually go into some of these reports. So you go into this More tab, you hit Reports right here. And as you can see, there's a ton of reports you can do. These are all fake reports that we've created over the years just to demonstrate. There's no one's actual information or anything in any of these. But as you can see, you can make a report pretty much anything you can think of. That's the really great benefit of us being on Salesforce, and separates our ride coordination software over a lot of others, is just the fact that you can report on pretty much anything, which is very important for a number of reasons. Grant writing, for example, I know you need to write reports for those. So let's actually look at some of these reports. So I've got a couple loaded up right here. So this one is Ride with Ride Purpose Group. This is a report we have of all the rides that we've done for the past year, and all the various places that they went to, what kind of runs there were. So obviously a lot of home and return runs. There's some medical ones, some recreation, consumer, religious institutions. So you can show all these reports. You can even make a little chart if you want. This could be like a pie chart or bar chart or whatever you want. So you can make it look cool like that and have your own little dashboard. So talking about the Healthy Miles part, so how Healthy Miles integrates. So this is a good example of how Healthy Miles integrates into our software. You can see the charge of the rides. You can see what kind of credit that you got from the Healthy Miles member, whatever the medical institution that you're pairing with that's help subsidizing the cost. And this is a great way to do that. And also with a report such as this, for eye care reports in particular that John will talk about later, and the reimbursements for that, super useful to have these reports. And it's automated, so when you get those reimbursements, it's all automatic, and we can do a lot of that pulling for you. And then there's just one other report I want to show real quick, just some donations by month. So we haven't been donated a whole lot in our demo environment, unfortunately, but just wanted to show that's just another example of a report there. And yeah, with that pretty much covers all the reporting. So that can go back to you now, John.
Okay, thanks, Ian. And let's talk a little bit more about customization, because we realize that one size doesn't fit all. So we've created ITNCountry to be flexible based on your needs. So most of our providers charge for rides, but some may not, and we can accommodate for that. You may have paid employees, volunteer drivers, or maybe a mix of both. You may also reimburse for mileage, and you might do that in ride credits or in cash. And you may have personal vehicles, obviously, with the volunteers, but you also may have organization-owned vehicles too. And our platform accommodates for that. You may charge for annual membership dues, or you may not, but we can actually accommodate the annual membership dues as well. And then also those ancillary age-friendly services. If you've got a specific service that you provide, it may not necessarily be a ride, but it could be an ancillary service. If there's one that's not within the scope of our platform, we can add that for you as well too. And then lastly, the reporting capabilities. Being on the Salesforce platform, we have about 130 different fields. And again, we use this data anonymously, and it also helps you with grant writing, as it does help us as well too. Okay, looks like we're going to flip it back to you, Ian. We're going to look, I guess we looked at the AI chatbot before, but let's look at the settings.
Yeah, let's touch base on the settings real quick here. So we know that one shoe doesn't fit all. So we have a bunch of settings here available. I'm just going to go into those really quick here. So on the home page, you'll go to settings, and a lot of organizations charge for rides. They only accept donations, only do free rides. We can accommodate any one of those with these settings options. So you can see here that you can adjust, your pickup charges. If you charge just for any ride, or if you charge by mile, you can do that. You can charge for extra stops. If you do after hours, but you want to charge more for that, you can do that. Maybe you just don't charge anything and you just are donation based. You can zero all of this out. No problem. You can change membership rates. Say if there's a membership fee for your riders, you can have that here. You can put in birthday credits. We have some sites that like to give our riders credits on their birthday. We've got the reimbursement rates here. So if you reimburse your drivers, you can reimburse them depending on how many miles they do, whether they're, occupied miles, or if they're just doing, errands or going to and from the pickup locations, and a couple other general settings as well. So It's really just tailored for all shapes and sizes, however you want to do however you operate your transportation service. If you charge for rides or not, we can accommodate all of that with these settings. And yeah, we already touched on the AI chatbot with reporting. So yeah, I think we can pass it back to you now, John.
Okay, let's talk about the eye care reimbursement program. Very, very popular program with our service providers. We've partnered with the eye care industry so that you can receive reimbursements when you drive people to the eye doctor or for appointments or annual exams. You enter the ride type and destination in the ITNCountry platform, and then we send you a check quarterly. It's really that easy. So you can see that you can earn up to $30 round trip for those eye care appointments. And we're constantly looking for more partnerships with other industries and other types of organizations. And as we do that, we'll provide hopefully more reimbursement programs for you as well. But that's the eye care reimbursement program that's currently in place now. And let's see, driver portal and donations and
Yeah,
payments. Let's go back to Ian and take a look at those.
let's go through the driver portal. Alrighty. So yeah, this is the driver portal. As you can see, it looks very similar to the staff portal at first glance, and of course, you can customize how all of this looks. You can see some basic information about their license and insurance, registration date, all that type of stuff. We got the training videos, the help articles for the drivers as well. And you can get on this portal. Your drivers can get on this portal from their phone or tablet, anything with internet capability. You can just hop right on this portal so they can have it right there on their phone when they're in the car. So let's just go through some of these tabs up here. So the first one, we've got the driver portal. This is just some basic, well, fake information for now about the driver. And this is important just to mostly have an idea of where their address is, so what area they could drive for, what kind of vehicle they have is important to have, and you'll have that registration and insurance expiration dates in there. Just, pretty standard basic stuff, but you want to know all these things and make sure it's all accurate. If anything ever changes, you're going to want to make sure that's updated. But yeah, but the main thing I wanted to go into is the My Rides tab. And this tab, here we'll go. I don't have any rides for Fred for today, but he does have some rides tomorrow. So these are some rides that he's been assigned already. And the really, really cool part about this is if they hit the View Manifest button for this, they get all of this information about this ride, where the pickup location is, the drop-off location. You can actually hit Get Directions just right on the screen, so they don't have to plug it in themselves, and it'll just give them the Google Maps right for them right then and there. So we're trying to make it really as simple as possible for the driver, because let's be honest, we want to keep our volunteer drivers around and happy. You can see some basic information about the rider so that they know. Let's see the pickup, drop-off times, and here's the return ride as well. So this manifest is super helpful for your driver, just makes it really, really easy for them. And then we can also go to the availability. This is where they can change their availability for each day. So right now, Fred's able to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 2:30. You can add hours, you can add one-off hours, you can edit your default hours each week. So say maybe just one Saturday he can work, then he can put some time on there. Hey, I'm available this Saturday. So one-offs are default. Let's go into the financial summary. And this also kind of dips into the rider portal as well. It looks exactly the same as it does in the rider portal as it does for the driver portal. And this is where you can see, where they're getting their mileage credits, where they're getting their reimbursements. This make a payment button up here, not so much for drivers, more for riders, but maybe your driver wants to donate. You can donate right through our platform. You don't have to go through a third party, which is great. You can make a payment, or maybe you want a gift for a rider that you know. But this is the same exact form for the riders as well. So yeah, that pretty much covers it for the driver's portal. Not a whole lot to it. It's very much the same for the riders portal. I will say The riders portal isn't used too frequently. Most people just call in, so I'm not going to go over that right now. Um, but yeah, and one more thing I actually wanted to touch on real quick is you can see all the uncovered rides. And this is where you actually can select. So say Fred, oh yeah, I can pick up this person at this time. He can select that ride and that'll show up on the ride coordinators page and that manage rides tab that I showed a little bit earlier as selected, and then the ride coordinator can confirm it. So this is just the third way that you can have rides get picked up. But yeah, with that, I will send it back to you, John.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Ian. So I know that was a pretty quick overview and demonstration of the ITNCountry platform. If you've got any questions, go ahead and put them into the chat function. I do see one in there right now. Let me go back to that one there. We're tracking activity, connect calls, and pantry deliveries. So yes, we can actually do ancillary services there. Those are any type of service that is a ride or a drive out to that rider that doesn't involve the rider. So an ancillary service might be a service that you provide going to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription. It might be coming out and doing a house visit or dropping off food like your pantry delivery. We do have these ancillary services there. And if you have something that is unique, we can also add that type of ancillary service too. Ian, I don't know if we have, how many total ancillary services do we have right now in the system?
We have about 5 or 6 we've added recently.
Okay.
But yeah. So there was one more question I see actually in the Q&A section. Can the rider learn more about the driver? Will they know that the person is actually their driver? Fair. Maybe there'll be a photo of the driver for them to be sure they aren't being picked up by the wrong person. So the rider does know basic information about the driver in terms of, what kind of car they have and the license plate and whatnot. We don't have a photo option yet, but hey, that could be a cool feature request, and that's why we have the feature request there. So if you come on and you want to have a photo of drivers, maybe that's something we can implement in the future. We have an IT team working constantly trying to improve our software any way they can, always listening to feedback from our community to see what kind of features would be great. We put on focus groups regularly just to see what people like, what they don't like, what they'd like to see more of, all that good stuff.
Okay, next up, is there an option for volunteer drivers to look at open rides available and self-assign?
To look at open, yeah, that was the last thing I was showing is those uncovered rides. Volunteer drivers can select the rides that they want to do. So that is an option in the driver's portal. And then the ride coordinator gets notified when an uncovered ride is selected. Let's see what we got here.
And then it says, can you route multiple client pickups or deliveries with one driver? So you can create that schedule for them involving multiple rides.
Yeah, so that would be when you're booking a ride for that. In this case, when you're booking that ride, you would just add stops within the software. So that's definitely something we support. Cost/pricing structure. So the cost, it does vary on a number of things, and I'm happy to talk more about that. I'll put my my email and calendar link so you can put time on my calendar if you're curious about pricing and whatnot. I'll need to talk to you like one-on-one to see what where your organization's at, how many rides you do on a monthly basis, how much staff do you have, things like that. I'll make a little bit of variation in the pricing. So I'll just have to talk one-on-one about that. Yep.
There's another question here. Do you provide any support or strategies to recruit drivers? So going back to America's Volunteer Driver Center, let me go back to that and let me know that you can see it here, Ian. That is right here. This is our national program here that we're going to be launching in 2026 to help service providers with volunteer recruitment. We know this is one of the biggest challenges. We don't have a challenge with the demand. There's a lot of demand out there for these rides, and we understand that the challenge is really finding these drivers. So one of our big focuses here at ITN America is helping solve that problem. So you'll be invited shortly to become a provider on the America's Volunteer Drivers Center platform. And this is a free program, and we're going to recruit all the providers first. Our goal is to get 1,000 providers across the country in place before we launch our nationwide advertising program to show the awareness and to really find and recruit more drivers for you. Completely free. You'll be getting an email from ITN America within the next month or two to join. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out about that as well too.
I think there was one question, if do organizations use this service for other ages, youths and adults? Yeah, so in its inception, it was tailored for older adults, but we have branched beyond that to just really anyone that has any sort of mobility challenges, any underserved communities that just have transportation challenges. That's what it's for now. It's definitely we definitely do more than just older adults.
There's a question about the recording, and yes, we're definitely recording right now. Give us 24 hours, maybe by Monday we'll send an email out with an edited recording on YouTube. And then if you'd like the slides as well too, Ian can send those out to you as well. So just send him an email there.
Is pending ride communication automated to volunteer base? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Maybe we could talk offline and we can elaborate. Oh, we sent out text messages. That is something we sent out. We have the ability to send out emails to drivers right now, not text messages, but that is something that we've heard a request for, and we are actively working on that. Same with I see there's a question about the mobile app platform. We are working on a mobile app as well. We're hoping to have that done by the end of the year. Right now, it is just web-based. You have to plug in save the internet website on whatever browser you're using. But we're working on an app because everyone likes a nice app. So that is in the works.
And a lot of our drivers, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, but a lot of our drivers do use they pull it up on their mobile device, the website, or they use a tablet as well too right now. So if there's any questions that we missed, we can definitely follow up with you. And we can definitely do more demos. I know this was a very short demonstration and presentation, but if you'd like to get one that is more specific to your needs, feel free to reach out to Ian there. There's his email address. If you want to pop it in the chat, Ian, it's easier for people. Instead of typing, that would be great. And then we've also got some more webinars coming up this year as well, too. So we talked a lot about the America's Volunteer Driver Center. As I mentioned, it's in the final testing phases, and we're going to launch that this year as well. And we're going to send an email out to you and recruit you to jump on the platform before we reach out to the volunteer drivers. And then we're also going to be doing a grant writing webinar and a roadmap webinar. A lot of you asked about some of the functionality that is coming down the road here in our ITNCountry roadmap. So we'll have a webinar about that this year later as well too. So Ian, thanks for the demo, and everyone else, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it, and we will get the recording and the slides out to you shortly. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.